But first, we're gonna open this meeting up with a prayer, and we're gonna have Mr. Willie Jones do a prayer for us, right, Quinn?
Can we gather our hearts and bow our heads? Most gracious, holy, and everlasting Father, we come together today, Lord, as humbly as we know how, to come to share thoughts, to share information, Lord. You said where two or three are gathered, you would be in the midst. So we ask that you be here with us today. We ask, oh God, that you cover every family that is in this place. We ask that you send your Holy Spirit and let it fall fresh upon us, that we can come together with thoughts, words, and deeds, Lord, to help this community. And Lord, to make sure that your word is spread and that everyone in here leaves here better off than they were when they came. This is our prayer. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen, amen, and amen.
Yeah, welcome everybody, and thank you for taking time to come out on a busy Saturday morning. Um, but it's been a long time coming in the Greater Grand Crossing community, and for a long time, years ago, we had what you call block organizers, and block organizers, we had a representative from each block in the community, and what they were responsible for was getting information and sharing information in the community. And it was real effective when we was doing this. It was real effective in our community. We went from Cottage Grove back over to Woodlawn. We had 10 representatives, and it was pretty good. We brought the community together with that. The reason I'm saying that is because we need to get back to sharing information, knowing what's in our community, what's available to us, what's for us from our services, how does the city serve us, and how can we better serve the city too. Um, we don't give too much information. We get little cards and stuff in the mail. We throw it to the side, but they're really important cards. They're really important information, and we need to share this information. It's very important, and little things like that. You'll be surprised at how it brings a community together. And I had Miss Eunice and Deborah Edwards that was part of the crew when we had the block organizers giving out information. So it's very important. And again, we want to put Greater Grand Crossing back on the map here. We've been neglected for so long, and people look over us, and we don't get as much services as we think we should get. So let's wake up Greater Grand Crossing, you all. Let's put us back here. We have and I want to give honor to Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller is 97 years old. She is the oldest beat facilitator. She's the oldest beat facilitator in Grand Crossing right now. And give honor to her and Miss Leach. So if they can get up and come out here, everybody can get up and come out and share. You know, much honor to you, Miss Miller. Right. So yeah, that's one of the causes of this meeting is to get and share information. Let's see what's available to us. Let's see how we can better use our city services. Um, how can we connect? How can we get answers? We don't want to just get information and throw it under the rug. We want to keep this going. We want to keep this information flowing. It's very, very important that we do that, you guys. All right. So how we're gonna do this, Tiffany is gonna explain the rules of the house and how everything is ran today. And we're gonna get our show started here.
Thank you so much, Sam. That's Sam Binion. I know not too many people here don't know him, but that is Sam Binion. He's the mayor of Pockettown. I want to say thank you to Miss Miller as well. You got to honor our elders. We have to honor our elders. Thank you to Mr. Jones for that beautiful prayer. Ain't nothing like a praying man, right? And thank you to Operation Neighborhood Safety for putting this on and organizing this. Thank you to each and every city department that showed up. Thank you to our alderman of the 5th Ward, Desmond Yancey is my alderman. And thank you to the mayor for sending out his team. There is somebody from the mayor's office here. Thank you to DFSS, to as Department of Family and Supportive Services, Streets and Sand, BACP, Buildings, Department of Planning, Housing, and every other agency that came out to the exchange and the Greater Food Depository. We have so many wonderful presenters today. I will be your moderator if you will tolerate me for the next couple hours. My name is Tiffany Brooks. I'm the first Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection with the City of Chicago. And so today we are here and we brought out, as the mayor says, the full force of government to ascertain the needs of the Greater Grand Crossing and surrounding communities. So we want to be at your service today, and we'll save our questions for the end after our panelists present, and we will ask everybody to please silence their cell phones. I know everyone here is important and has super important things to do, but we ask if you could put them on vibrate. You don't have to turn them off, but please silence them so that as people are speaking, they're not interrupted. We love to hear your ringtones, just not right now. We have our first up is CPD. And I didn't thank CPD first because I wanted to thank them separately. The Chicago Police Department is one of the largest police departments in the nation. It's near and dear to my heart, and I don't know if you all know any police officers personally, but every single day they put on a uniform and it's like having a target on their back, and they go out and they live to protect us. But they have families at home, and those families want them to come home every night or every day at the end of their shift. And so we have to do, as my grandmother would say, lend some grace when we think about them, because we don't know what they face every single day. And when I was coming up, we would get scared when we saw the cops, for other reasons. Now they shoot at the police, they talk back to them, they do whatever they want to. And not that you should live in fear of them, but we want to be partners and work with them. And I still meet children who say they want to be officers when they grow up, Miranda. So that means you are doing an amazing job, you and your staff. And so our first presenter today, yes, give it up. We have some retired CPD. We have Matt Brandon and LaDonna Hudson. We have retired CPD in here as well as active officer. And Jennifer Matt, is Jennifer, I'm high flying. Oh, there she is hiding. Of course, she wouldn't got her head back. We got OEMC in the house. I see Miss Carrington back there as the officer at the Office of Emergency Management and Communications. That's 911 and 311. So we have them out as well. But I thank God that I can call 911 and they will respond, because if we didn't have it, think of what the alternative would be. You all ever seen the movie The Purge? Okay. All right. So Commander Branch, without further ado, can you please give us, if you want to come up, or if you have a I'm having Commander Branch speak first because he has to leave. He has an engagement, and then we're going to have the alderman speak.
Good morning, everyone. A beautiful crowd. Commander Branch, been on the job now for 26 years. I actually started in 3. So when I first got on the job, I started here in 3rd District, went all around the city to different units, and then somehow I come full circle and I'm the commander. So from police officer to commander, 3rd District has always been my family. You guys, I like to keep it simple. First, we're going to start off. Everyone's been deputized, all right? So you guys are now officially our partners, all right? All I ask is that you call when you see something and hear something. Give us a call and let us do the rest. Give the description, put us in the place where we need to be in order to get the undesirable events that's happening in our neighborhoods. Let's get them out. All right. Beautiful. You got the lake, you got parks. We got one of the most beautifulest places in the world is right here. Right here. Y'all just don't know. This makes me happy. Next thing, now that you've all been deputized, I ask for my partners to make sure you let us know. Come see me. Come see my wonderful CAPS office right here. Those are the lifeline. Now, that these ladies are dynamic. Do you hear me? They are amazing at what they do, and they keep me connected. The other thing, come see me. Didn't I say that already? Come see me. Third district, we're right down the street. Come visit your district. All right, we had a donation for our community room. Come use the community room. Come see and visit your police officers that's out here working for you. One thing I stress when you see a police officer on the street, speak to them.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're so into what we're doing, sometimes they just need that smile or that hello and let them know that you appreciate them. All right. Um, Brooks, I love you. You running for what?
Yeah, but not in that.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Okay, you're working. Right. Just look for her. A face that you need to be looking for. All right. You understand?
But I do love Commander Brad. He is very relatable, very approachable. He's not lying. Come and see him because he'll get you in the corner and say, "What do you need?"
Please. I got plenty of ginger beer and water. Come on out. Um, one of the things we got going on, you got heroes that's actually here. We have a hero that actually is putting this together. Uh, Third district, one thing I love, we get together and we show up and show out. We put on an event, we support each other, and then we keep each other lifted. That's what you see here. The Alderman Yancey, I call him my big brother. He might be a little shorter than me, but he's big brother. Lovell. All right. Another partner that's incredible. All right. This is what we need. You want to see crime go down? Get active. Okay. That no longer can we I will push it over to them and let them handle it. I don't have enough officers out here. And now that you've been deputized, I do now. All right. So get your neighbor, bring them in. Bring them in. Come see me. Come see my CAPS office. Come spend some time with us and rub some elbows. And then maybe you can get in the car with me and we'll follow the real police that's out here doing it while we watch. All right. Truly, truly. Other than that, that's gonna be my time. I'm gonna sit down. See, yeah, the troublemaker right here.
Oh yeah, she made trouble for you. She wanted me to ask you a question, and I was gonna say it. But she wants to ask about the Safety Act.
The Safety Act.
Yes.
As far as when someone gets arrested. So, and not to go too deep into it, you guys, history will repeat itself if we don't make some type of change. The Safety Act, back way long time ago, police had the power to, if they see an individual and they said you doing something wrong, even if they were not doing anything wrong, we had the power to lock them up, take away their freedom for however long. The Safety Act is something that's supposed to correct that. All right. It's new, and you're still going to have some bumps in that, but it's helping judges now to kind of look at what they're doing and not this blanket. It's not just what the police say. What do we have? What is the community saying about this particular individual? So the Safety Act allows the people to come in and they're not going to be housed at Cook County. They can actually be released right from third district. So if it's a minor crime, not a violent crime, they can actually be documented right there as far as the paperwork, and they will be cut loose from the third district instead of going and spending however much time in Cook County until they pay the money. Okay.
So I know you all may have been given these index cards. If you have them, if you see someone walking around with the orange sweatshirt or T-shirt on, there's Matt in the bag, Sam, and a few other people, or June, or anyone. Please give them the cards. These are what the questions will be written on. So they have a question for you, Commander, because you're leaving. They want to know about police accountability. Can you speak to what happens to an officer who may be accused or accused of wrongdoing?
So a process. All right. So we got to be fair in what we do. So we can't have anybody just coming in and saying, "Up, that officer right there, he's a bad officer." It's got to go through a process, like everything. We do the investigation, and right now, pictures, videos are golden. As you can see, all of the officers that's working the street has a camera now on their chest, and it has to be recording when we have some type of dealings with the community in a negative aspect. Now, if we're just talking, I'm not supposed to record you. I can ask you, would you like to be recorded? But I can't just arbitrarily record you. Anytime we're doing a law enforcement type of arrest or anything, that camera has to be rolling, has to be up and moving. So accountability, you must check us just like we're trying to check people out in the street. If you see us doing wrong, just like I said, you see it, you hear it, report it.
Who do they report it to?
They're gonna. Well, you got a couple of things. You got COPA, which is a outside entity of CPD, and then you have what's called BIA, Bureau of Internal Affairs. You could call them, and it's also on the website. Let me see that.
A question before we move on.
Yeah, you modded. Correct. Oh man, correct. I wrote a question. It's been too many go to the wrong houses. These detectives, they bust into wrong house all the time. It's been going on for years, and yet the police ain't doing nothing about it. Okay, officer, make same as again. Anybody else? I hope the holds what kind of a reaction, but when they get caught, it'll get judged right away. Zip the big greatest. What they do, like one guy crashed into shark or they sell it. And then possibly under now, sir. That did 2 years ago. Why is it taking so long for a response? And why is it that they keep doing the same thing over and over again? Going to the wrong houses. Got to be held accountable to the action of these officers when they keep going to the wrong house all the time. What they thought not doing or not fixing? And then all this robbery going on, but the black patrolling they do, cause you see a lot of news and they take their time and know they not be a rush cause they know how things operate. They know how they got the saying, you know what they expect, you know how to time yourself. Yeah, the look up break is daddy. But okay. What is the issue with response time of officer call? That one referred to recap couple. What at the officers who are found to have committed sudden accidental accountable for so high. They been put the road so able. And is there anything being done about officers making mistakes about boy or ball power?
So once again, that comes back to the cameras. Anytime an officer makes a mistake and goes to the wrong house, that has to be documented. And then there's a process to see why. So now, just like you're saying, now I don't know if we would have to check the numbers because I don't think it's happening as much as you're saying. No, okay, we'll debate, but this is what I'll do. You come down and see me, and I will run the numbers for you, me and you. And then you can come back and report to the crowd on your findings. That's a challenge. You come see me. No, hey man, come see me. Once I say it, we're making. No, you just said it. It's happening. Yeah. So listen, I'm giving you an invitation. Come see me. We're gonna run the numbers so you can see for yourself, and I want you to report to our community on what you found out. Okay? Hey, you shut down on me now. Okay. All right. We'll talk. See me after the meeting. Before I leave, I'll make sure I come see you.
One last thing, Commander.
Yes.
June asked about the squatter law. Were you going to speak to it just briefly?
So the squatter law, that has not been implemented yet. All right. This is something that's coming down the pipeline, but that's a process also. There's not something that's like a light switch when you cut it on and then it's out. Chicago police is doing it. We actually spoke about this a little bit yesterday in the alderman's office. So the squatter law, they're figuring out how we're going to best be trained on it, because you got to be trained, and then how we're going to implement this out in the street on when we're coming across people who are claiming to be squatters. So that's coming out.
Is that all for CPD?
Mhm.
Okay.
Good.
You got to speak up. Speak up a little bit.
So my question is, do y'all have a grace period? So say that you get a phone call to come to someone's house. Do y'all have a grace period or a time limit of how long it takes y'all to get fixed?
So when you say a grace period, you're talking about responding to a call? All right, real quick. Calls are listed or given to us in priority. All right. So let's say you have someone calling saying my dog is stuck up in a tree, or a cat, or whatever, stuck up in a tree. And we have someone who was ran over by a car, who was hit by a vehicle. So now those are prioritized. So the one in which we have an individual, a person who's hurt and needing assistance or investigating, those are a higher priority. Okay, those are like priority 1 calls in which we go to. A dog stuck up in a tree, cat in a tree, that's going to be a priority 3 or 4. Okay, so we have to respond to the emergency first, and then we respond to that. And all these are going constantly throughout the day. And it can be anywhere from um, I got an illegal car parked that's been there, or someone shot. So we get all calls. We cannot say we're not going to come. That's not important. We're going to get there. All right. But we got to respond to the one in which human life is at stake. All right. Or somebody's in danger. We got to respond to those first. And there's a lot. Come down. And I wish I had the numbers in which we have over the 79,000 residents right in these borders of 3rd District. And we go anywhere from 60th Street to 75th, from the Dan Ryan to the lake. So in this boundaries that I just gave, there's over 79,000 people. I have 245 officers right now. And that's for all 4 watches. So we have to make sure we manage. That's why you've been deputized, because we need you. I need you. Okay? Did I answer your question? A little bit? Okay. All right.
Okay. So any more questions that you have to write them down on the cards and give them for one of the organizers, so we can keep it flowing and also can keep it organized. Okay. All right. So if you have a question for CPD, please give it to someone now, because we're going to allow the commander to wrap up, because he has to another engagement. Okay. Is that a CPD question?
Just a comment.
Oh, just a comment. Okay. All right. Thank you, Commander Branch.
I love you guys. Once again, hey, you got a question? Don't wait till there's an event. Come see me. And most of my real close, I call them family because they get the cousin hookup. Come down and see me. All right. You can ask me any questions. I will sit down with you, and then we will go over whatever question or idea you might have. We can actually go over that, and then I will sit down with you. If I can't do it, my dynamic team right there, my CAS officers, they will sit with you also. All right. Sergeant Patterson is over my caps. Put that hand up. Okay. Yeah. There you go. There you go. So please come. All right. This is not us against them. This is we. This is us together. And this is the only way you're going to see crime continue to go down. Last year, we had a phenomenal year. Over 50% of our violent crimes were down. All right. So we need to keep that going. And the only way that was achieved was from our community, from you guys stepping up, saying what you see, what you hear, and putting us right on the spot in which we're having trouble. Love you guys. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you. So please utilize our CAPS office and our CAPS officers for the 3rd district, any district, whatever district you're located in. Please utilize them. We love our CAPS officers. They are here and at your service, and they work closely with the entire district that they're in, and as well as us. Okay, this says, please remind officers to acknowledge us as well. So what I'm going to presume, I don't know what that means, is if CPD sees the residents, should say hello to the residents as well. I'm sure they do. I speak to I'm just pro Chicago. So I see somebody, especially in a uniform, I'm saluting them, thanking them for their service, saying hello. I see Streets and Sand driving them big snow plows. I'm like, yes, and they're all like waving and blowing the horn. So I just appreciate, because I know what it is to work for government. But next, just to keep this moving along, we are going to introduce our very own alderman of the 5th Ward, Alderman Desmond Yancey. That is my alderman. I'm so proud. And he is, how many years in? 2.5?
Yeah, 3.
I mean, 3 years into his first term. I know it has been a uphill climb, to put it wonderfully, because there's so many different issues going on. And he has what we call a lakefront ward, and that encompasses so many different things. The Obama Center. I wish you all knew what it felt like to be down in City Hall, and it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act. You have to deal with whatever's going on with City Hall and the legislative part, which is like ordinances and stuff, and then all of the community stuff. And so it is a balancing act to be an alderman and to work in that capacity. I personally think that the aldermen have they say, oh, you can size the wards down. You don't need 50. They haven't dealt with a ward with 50,000 people in it before. So each ward is about 50 to 55,000 people. So if you say we need less wards and less aldermen, that would mean they have to deal with 100,000 people to get them down to 25 aldermen. And that's a big feat, because it's more than meets the eye. So I'm going to bring Alderman Yancey to you all. If you all notice, Greater Grand Crossing spans, it has a vast spans, the area, the geographic area that Greater Grand Crossing covers. But the 5th Ward showed up, and that's all I'm going to say. Thank you, Alderman Yancey.
Thank you. Is it okay if I sit down? If I stand up, it might not make a difference anyway.
Oh my goodness.
All right. See, told you.
That's how people from Kenmore act.
You know, I saw some of my favorite seminar folks in the back, so we allow everybody here in Greater Grand Crossing. I do want to say I don't mind following Commander Branch. That is one of the hardest working brothers I've met, not just on the police force. And I'm the son of a police officer. I almost became a police officer, but, God figured I should be doing some different stuff. But I worked on police accountability issues, and I was working on it from the perspective of being a community member who has had my own sort of experiences with the police department and representing the community there. And I would say spending time with folks in the 3rd district has given me a renewed perspective on how hard the job is and how important they are. So I want to give it up for the 3rd district again. Y'all deserve all the love. So as alderman of the 5th Ward, I represent 4 communities: High Park, Woodlawn, South Shore, and Greater Grand Crossing. When I met Sam in 2022, he talked about Greater Grand Crossing being like the stepchild of the South Side. Well, I'm a stepchild. I got 3 stepmothers and a stepdaddy. And I'm the youngest. So I know how it feels to be the stepchild. So I've tried to spend a lot of time here in Greater Grand Crossing,
just kind of listening to hear what the needs are. Before I go too much further, can we shout out Ms. Leach? I saw her sneak in here.
Where is Miss Leach? Miss Leach, thank you so much for coming.
I just wanted to say, hey,
There she is. We want to acknowledge our elders. Thank you,
Yes.
Miss Leach.
there was a point that was made earlier. We've got these elders that are able to come out and still support the community. And I was just telling the brother as they were being introduced earlier, when I'm 90, I want to do this. And I don't mean that in any way, except it is really important that we figure out how we keep the river moving, right? How we bring new life into these fights, because one, we can learn from the elders, but they can sit. We can sit at their feet and understand what the bridges that they have built, while at the same time getting out and then doing the work and building our own and standing on their shoulders. So thank you all for being here. I don't know where to start. Community partnerships are important. So shouting out Operation Neighborhood Safety for the work that they've done. My brother Matt Brandon in the back. I've known Matt since our days at SEIU, and he worked with my father at Chicago Police Department. So like these connections are circular, especially on the South Side, because too often people grow up in a place, they move a couple blocks away, they might move a mile or so away, but those connections don't go away. And when we think about the changes that we want to make in this community, if we look at Greater Grand Crossing 20 years ago and look at it today, but it's very different. And it looks different not by accident, but really by intention, because everybody knows the Comer story. I won't go into it because there's going to be a great presentation later about it. But it goes to show that when people are committed to change and then they work with others who are also committed and have the means, we can get a lot of what we need. And as South Chicago and Greater Grand Crossing has been reimagined as a tech corridor, like this is the wish and the vision, a workforce hub that allows people who live in this neighborhood to be able to get a great job, build a family, own a home, make our schools better, make our communities safer, make it welcome for new people, which brings new retail and new homes and more new people who have great education opportunities and great jobs. And then we create that life cycle instead of one of poverty and disinvestment, which is what the other folks did prior to the last 20 years ago. So give yourselves a round of applause for that work and for being here. What should I be talking about?
So, a couple things. What I want to start off with for you, Alderman, because I think it's very important. I hear people always ask, and they ask me in the business capacity about, well, they don't have that in Mount Greenwood. They don't have that in Beverly. They don't have that in Lakeview and Lincoln Park. And you know why they don't? Because the residents of those communities, not only do they stand by their officers, they stand by their aldermen. And they hold the people who actually make things happen and move the pieces, they hold them accountable. Not just the alderman. We know the alderman is here, but there are Cook County commissioners, there are state reps, there are state senators, we have a mayor, we have a board president. And I just want you to kind of connect the dots here and explain to the residents what your office is actually responsible for.
All right. Before I do that, I want to say, yeah, it's been a crazy week. I want to say that first shout out my staff, Lindsay and Brandon, who are here. Um, they both live in the neighborhood. And so it's important for me, the majority of my staff or actually all of my staff either live in the Fifth Ward or communities that the Fifth Ward represents. And that's with intention, because I want folks to see my staff at the grocery store. I have, Lindsay's daughter goes to Parkside, right? And so she sees parents in the school who have known her for years, who know that her connection to the alderman's office is legit. And it's not like I bust somebody in from Rogers Park to be on my staff so they'd have a good city job. I'll also say that Greater Grand Crossing is represented by 3 aldermen, right? 3 aldermen, I think 2 state reps. I'm not sure if the Senate district is split. Oh, yeah, because Maddie's got parts. So 2 senators, a Cook County commissioner. I'm the only one here. And no shade.
They were all invited.
That's where the shade came from. I'm sorry. Oh, is that a district counselor in the back? Is that Kenya?
I cannot.
So we got police district counselor in the back, and so we got all these layers of government represented here. And
Can you come up?
come on up.
Come up.
The point I was trying to make is our work this is a two-way street, and Commander Branch and I were talking about this yesterday. You know, it's not just at elected official. I'm sorry, the community engaging with elected officials, because to the point, we got 50,000 folks just in my ward, and we've got the smallest level of government in terms of geography. So Cook County Commissioner has more, state reps, state senators have more, et cetera. So it's important for me to come to stuff like this, to build relationships here. I mean, there are people in this room that I've already seen 2 or 3 times since the first of the year, and it's only the Happy Black History Month. It's only the first week of Black History, right? So my work is intentional so that the community members know what's going on. If they have questions, share them. If they want to put some wind in my sails and tell me, great job, Yancey, I'll take that. But I'll also take hey man, I got a problem with something that you said or you did, or I just don't understand why you support a particular thing, because those are the conversations that make me better, help you understand who I am as a person. And more importantly, it allows us to get out of the silo of, oh, somebody ain't doing nothing because you don't understand what I did. So the city of Chicago is responsible for, at least my office, the way is serving the constituents. So if you have a traffic light out, if your garbage cans are missing or need to be replaced, if the snow needs to be hasn't been or needs to be plowed, you want street lights or speed bumps or those sorts of service things is a part of what we do. Another part of what we do is we advocate for the community. So I know we've got, just frankly, in Greater Grand Crossing, some underperforming schools. And we know that's by design. We'll have that conversation at Privilege one night. But when we talk about how we are able to get these resources, it's the connection between the alderman who can be a voice with the Board of Ed, with CPS, to be another hammer, if you will, to help figure out how we bring those resources back. I work with the 3rd District a lot on public safety issues, whether it's nuisance buildings or nuisance neighborhoods or people, or maybe it's public safety stuff. Maybe it's mental health resources. They are another arm of the apparatus that helps build and keep the community safe. And the best way I think about my role in particular, and it's just some of the stuff, but the best way I think about my role in particular is really being not just a conduit of information, but also just like a space for resources. Like we have information in our office about new home buyer programs, about how to open a small business. We got a great relationship with our chambers of commerce for people who are looking for funding to either grow a business or build a new business. People reach out to our office about housing issues, resources for seniors, like you name it. But the difference between the city, the county, and state is that none of those other offices are service centered. Your state rep is usually in Springfield fighting for legislation. Same with your state senators. The Cook County Commissioner is more dealing with county-wide issues, many of which are outside of the city because of city home rule stuff. And of all the legislative jobs, the alderman's office is on paper a part-time position, but you can't be good at it if you treat it like it's part-time. So my staff knows that my calendar is insane and that I try to do as much as I can with my day to make sure I'm actually serving the community. Because while the job is alderman, my title to the one that I got from upstairs is servant, and I've served in a ton of different ways before I got this job. So we're here to help more than anything.
So one of the questions that they're asking from the audience is, what can the city do about all of the vacant businesses on 71st east of Stony? What can the city do about all of the vacant businesses on 71st Street east of Stony?
We're doing a lot of things. One, we have created an environment that says that 71st Street is open for business. For starters, February 21st of 2025, the Walgreens at 71st and Jeffrey was closed down, along with 79th and Jeffrey, and I think about another half dozen stores, mostly in Black neighborhoods. Well, if you go by 71st and Jeffrey today, right next door to the local market, a CVS pharmacy is opening. The sign is up in the window. They got the paint in there. Should be open less than a year after we lost their Walgreens, right? It's just a pharmacy. It's not a full retail space, but we wanted to make sure that we address the concerns of the seniors who had lost this valuable resource for them to get their medicine.
And that comes from a non-part-time, but a full-time alderman.
Full-time alderman, good Lord, yes. But that also comes because CVS wouldn't come if they didn't feel like they had a reason to come to the neighborhood. There's also a $4.5 billion investment in a building just a little bit east of my office where the South Shore Chamber of Commerce and South Shore Community Development Corp, along with the city and state partners, have a $4.5 billion project that's going to just renovate this space. They put about 4 or 5 apartments back online, the office space for the CDC, and y'all are here for the first time, a new outpost for Clinton's Loves Soul Food Lounge coming to 71st Street. So we're 71st and Oglesby, I think, on the south side of the street. It's a building that has a scaffolding around it right now. So again, right, we got folks coming to the neighborhood because they know that we are ready for business. Additionally, a local property was purchased by a nonprofit called Leave No Veteran Behind. It's going to do a full rehab and offer some retail, some veterans resources, and some mental health resources for the community. So it's not just stores coming, but it's also stuff that the community has asked for in one way or another. Now, there are a ton of buildings on 71st Street that are vacant. And some of those are vacant because we've got speculators who are holding on to this property for the best price because they think that Obama Presidential Center is going to put a big bag of money in their front yard. And the Chamber of Commerce has done a study up and down 71st Street and knows that some of those buildings are overvalued, some as much as $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 because folks are holding on to this. And when you think about 71st Street, you can think about South Ashland, you can think about Halsted 70th to 79th, where a lot of these vacant buildings have the same story. Some family member bought it 75 years ago. It's stuck in a trust. Those folks who own it now have no idea that they own it. All they know is they got some property in Chicago. And they're less concerned about the community and really more concerned about protecting their inheritance. So through Department of Buildings, we're going to use increased tools for the Troubled Building Initiative to hold those folks accountable to either, get your act together or the city can seize those buildings. Now, it's not a simple process. It's not quick by any stretch of the imagination, and due process is going to be the letter of the law. But when we identify those spaces and once the wheel starts moving, it's really hard for it to stop. Secondly, this is a premature announcement, but there is a funding stream coming to South Shore that's going to allow us to provide facade enhancements, so the front of the store, enhancements along 71st Street, so that it doesn't look like this hodgepodge of failed businesses and broken dreams, but really looks more like a community that is in transition with the pendulum swinging the right way. So be patient with us. You'll see some big changes soon, and you'll see a lot more kind of this summer and then going into 2027.
Thank you so much, Alderman Yancey. I just want to say, when you go into Hyde Park and then you come to Grand Crossing or South Shore, the difference is Hyde Park has the University of Chicago funding most of the stuff that's going on there. So it has nothing, it's no reflection on the alderman. I'm sorry, when you go into Hyde Park versus Greater Grand Crossing or South Shore, you look at the difference. Well, the University of Chicago is funding most of that. And they have not opted to fund the gentrification of South Shore or Greater Grand Crossing. They are opting to fund Hyde Park and the surrounding areas there. It's no reflection on Alderman Yancey. That's their money. It's their property. They do what they want with it. So now what he's doing is pulling in funding sources and working with the different agencies to get money to upgrade our communities, right? So by default, he has South Shore Hyde Park as a part of his ward. He inherited it. It's that way. That's how it is. It's not that he's paying more attention to Hyde Park when it comes to those businesses and things. Some of them do come through his office, but the majority of that comes from that money that's on that side of 59th Street. You go north of 59th Street, University of Chicago is building it up over there, and that's what they choose to do.
So I'm glad they're not south of 59th Street. If I'm going to be really honest, because what happens is when you have one institution in charge of the development, like I would say, Ibrahim, tell me if I'm wrong, 70% of the retail spaces that belong to the places where you like to go in Hyde Park belong to the University of Chicago.
They do.
So when that happens, they're the ones who get to decide what comes and what stays. Whereas when we are much more independent and much more self-sufficient, yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but we're able to get the stuff that we want instead of stuff that somebody thinks that we want. Now, I do want to talk briefly about the system exists that helps businesses come to communities, and it's a little bit problematic. So before 2019, there was this thing called automatic prerogative, where let's say Ms. Leach wanted to open a business, and then she filed her application at BACP. BACP notifies the alderman she wants to open a sewing business. I hate sewing, so I say no. And then she doesn't get to open her business. Today, post Mayor Lori Lightfoot, automatic prerogative is gone. So this is a real story. And this is how exploitative people are when they come to communities that they think don't use their voice. So then on 71st and Jeffrey, it's a woman who lives in the 18th Ward, so that's, closer to 83rd and Western, decides to open a business that she disguises as a lingerie shop right on the corner, 71st and Jeffrey, next to Currency Exchange. Well, listen to the community, and what we hear is, it's not a lingerie shop, it's an underground strip club. Somebody been there? All right. So we have this underground strip club in our community that, we had to fight, because once a business gets open, it's very difficult for us to close it. And so we had investigations from BACP and Chicago Police Department and others that ultimately resulted in the business deciding to walk away, and here's why. There's a law that says that the windows of your business can only be 25% covered.
Yes, that is correct.
And she had 75% or more covered. And what that resulted in was a fine of, I think, $500 per day for her, the people who rented the space to her, and the person the company who held the mortgage for that property owner. And so everybody is looking around like, no, we can't do this. And so they decided to pull out. When they went to court, they weren't fined anymore, but the business was gone. Now, mind you, my office went over there probably half a dozen times, left cards, left messages, no response. Chamber, the same thing. I got a call from her the day before she had to go to court because she was looking at, probably 5 figures in fines from the date of when this infraction started. Well, she felt like she didn't have to respond to me until she had a dent in her checkbook. So we do have tools, but sometimes it's difficult to use because on the front end, if they had come to the BACP process, had come to the city, or to the alderman and said, this woman wants to open a lingerie store on the corner of 71st and Jeffrey, my answer could have been a no, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. So while the front end process doesn't lend for community voice, the back end process sure does. So y'all deputized with do BACP too.
That's right.
To make sure you contact my office when you have businesses in your neighborhood that are causing problems. And it might be the gas station that's selling blunts to kids. It might be the corner store that the coffee shop that they can't be selling that much coffee. And
That's
right. Those sorts of things. Call our office and we'll figure it out.
Okay. So quickly before we want to wrap up, Alderman, they asked about construction on 71st and Cottage Grove. It's an accident waiting to happen, and no resident input was given for that. And then also about a young lady who was killed on her way to church in January. They couldn't find her. Are you aware of that? That might be a CPD question. I'm not sure.
So 71st and Cottage Grove. Where we are here in this building is the 5th Ward. The police station is in the 20th Ward. Privilege and the car wash are in the 6th Ward. We are in kind of a Bermuda Triangle of confusion because who is represented by whom. And some of those changes happened during the last remap, which was the 2023 election. So the construction that is at Cottage Grove and 71st Street is actually the 6th Ward. I wish my 6th Ward Alderman was here to kind of weigh into that. If folks have a question, I'd suggest two things. One, reach out to their office and reach out to mine. We can still try to figure out that question.
How do they get in touch with your with the alderman? That's what they're saying.
Which alderman? Because if you live in Greater Grand Crossing, you have at least 3 aldermen. So my office, I can give the information. Phone number is 773-324-5555. Got another district counselor just walked in. Hey, Jane. I'm just saying hi.
So take the number down for the 5th Ward office.
773-324-5555. And then our email address is our general email address. It's ward05, as in 5th Ward. So ward05 at cityofchicago.org.
They also have a website and a newsletter. I know because I signed up for it. I get it. It gives updates about what the alderman is working on, what's happening in the ward, and everything that comes on and goes on at City Hall. So, yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Miller. I don't get as. Can you give her the mic, please?
I live on 74th in Princeton. The dividing line is State Street. I want to know why, excuse me, I didn't mean to hit that. I want to know why we can't get any new businesses on our side of state.
Yes, ma'am.
There are new garbage cans, the little black ones, okay. They're antique looking lights hanging. We don't get that on my side in Inglewood.
Yes, ma'am. So that is the 6th Ward alderman who's not here to answer the questions. I apologize. That comes out of what we call menu money. Alderman Yancey can speak to it briefly, but your alderman's not here to address it.
But my staff is pulling up the number for the 6th Ward. Can you grab 8th Ward too? And I'll just share that. So this way people don't leave here without some way to connect with those folks.
I have had to converse with the alderman that handles our area.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I asked for, it's like this is the walk that you step down into the gutter park.
Yes.
Right at the beginning of that walk, when I go to step down, it's a indentation where it sinks down.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it holds ice this time of year. And when it rains, the water gathers there. I reached out to my alderman.
Yes, ma'am.
To see if it could be corrected. Okay. I got no response. The only